What's up, YouTube? Trell Manila, day 91 on the road to code, 100 days of code challenge. Today's topic is MySQL and Mongoose database. So this is where it's getting interesting because these are things that I see mentioned a lot. Things like when I read the Agile architecture, the revolution of the Agile architecture book. This was mentioned a lot, and just like seeing other coding lectures from like Uncle Bob and just other things that I watch on YouTube. This is mentioned a lot, which are databases, and we'll just go over that today. So this is again exciting. We're not just using Node.js for server stuff. Now we're going to get into databases, and it's just all coming together. This is when it starts coming together. So as I said, today's topic was about databases, and this starts with a conceptual side. First of all, a relational database are tables of data related to each other as the name suggests. By breaking apart each part of the data, it is easier to call it without repeating. An example would be having a person object name and name value pair of first and last name. So just imagine a person object, name and value pair. The first and last name are the name and value. And I have a graphic here, showing it on my blog. People, ID, 1, 2, first name, John, Jane, last name, Doe, and then person address is a different object, which person ID 1 and person ID 2. Address ID, 100, 100. And then you can even simplify that further in the table, and these are all tables, by the way. Addresses, ID 100, address 555 Main Street. And then SQL stands for Sequence Query Language, and it is a language designed for managing data. MySQL is an open source SQL database, which we installed from NPM. Then I required it into the app and put it into the middleware like so, which I have a graphic here in my blog. And let's just look at it. I see the screenshot that I have is var con equal MySQL dot create connection, parentheses, curly braces, host, semicolon, localhost, and then another is user colon test, password colon test, database colon address book, and just closing everything out there. And the powerful feature of this is the fact that MySQL returns data from a table, which is essentially an array of JavaScript objects. Because of this, we are able to manipulate the data from the database like how we would with JavaScript objects with object-oriented programming and things like that. Just inheritance and reference. This is the power of the databases, essentially. But before, the issue with databases was the repetitiveness of data, which is why they were set up in tables to save hard drive space. However, hard drive space is not much of an issue anymore compared to what we had to deal with before. And NoSQL is a variety of technologies that are alternatives to tables and SQL. It removes the table concept completely, and one of these databases is MongoDB for documents, and MongoDB, they use Mongoose. Documents are similar to JavaScript objects as well and can be called like one. But just like what we did with MySQL, first thing I did with Mongoose was install it and require it into the file as shown below. And we have that here as well. It's a little bit different that I have up. It actually looks a lot cleaner than MySQL in my opinion, because just like the express, how we called it with var express equal require and then request express in there, and var app equal express and empty parentheses just to call it. Right underneath of that, we have var mongoose equal require mongoose, and then to get it on, you just put mongoose.connect, and then you put in the URL of database that you can get for free or paid version. And after installing and requiring a Mongoose, the next step was to create a schema. A schema is where all the data lives on Mongoose. Schemas are similar to function constructors and also have methods like .save. Documents are much more powerful than tables since they are more flexible with data. Every piece of data is separate and able to have different properties like a JavaScript object. This is powerful because each piece of information doesn't have to be the same type of data for each name value pair. Like, it doesn't have to line up exactly. Like, you can have the first last name and then a next object can be first last name and then address. Not everything has to be equal for it to be on the same table if it was on a table. Instead, you can have a bunch of various objects on a document. And yeah, that's why it's just a lot more powerful and a lot more used nowadays. And that's pretty much the update for today. Day 91, Road to Code. We are getting right through it. Almost a week left into this video series. And just as always, just like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everyone has a great day. Trilla Manila signing out. Check out the blog, trillamanila.com as well.
Trilla Manila!